If you've ever played an Angry Birds game before, or at least even heard of one, you've definitely seen one of these. This is Angry Bird. They're small, cute, fluffy and round and do exactly what they set out to do, make Rovio mad. And you may be asking yourself, why are they so angry? Why did they use a slingshot? Why has my wife left me? Well, I can answer two of those with these, Bad Piggies. Similar to the Angry Birds, these little fellas are also small, cute and fluffy and do exactly what they set out to do. Be the enemy to the Angry Birds. The green pigs would constantly steal the birds' precious eggs and flee to their flimsy forts made of wood, stone and glass. The pigs aren't very intelligent beings as they store TNT, diamonds, donuts, ham and rubber ducks in the same fortresses they made to protect the eggs. You may also be asking, why do they need the eggs so much? They clearly have other food sources, it's not like they're starving or anything. Why the eggs specifically? Well, to answer that question, we have to look at some lore. In piggy culture, the biggest pig is king, aside from this one, because even history is stupid for their standards. And every king pig has eaten eggs before, aside from our current smooth pigs. He has never eaten any eggs. He fears if the other pigs find out, he'll be dethroned, so he covers up this lie by hosting fake egg eating festivals where he eats fake eggs made of grass, clay and dirt. This has led him to having an unhealthy obsession with trying to eat the flock's main 3 eggs. With the pigs being such a big part of the game, it was inevitable there would be some sort of game telling their side of the story. Many players were expecting some sort of level design where you defend against the pigs and the birds, but Rovio had other ideas. In 2012, Rovio would release Bad Piggies to stores with a physical version also existing for PC. Unlike the original game's rinse and repeat story of Bird sadly staring at an empty nest and Chuck noticing a group of pigs off to the side, having stolen the eggs in some unique way related to the episode. The story would follow a group of pigs trying to steal the eggs as per usual, constantly screwing up getting tricked by the blues. There would also be some side stories, but we'll get into that later. The main character of this game and the pig on the app icon would actually be a unique pig instead of a basic minion pig. He would originally be called Freckle Pig, similar to all the other pigs being named after their only main characteristic or role. This pig's unique characteristic being his freckles. After the release of the Angry Birds movie in 2016, he would get his own unique name, with that name being Ross. The gameplay is where the game really shines though. The game will show you a brief preview of the terrain you would have to traverse before then presenting you with a limited amount of parts. You would then use these parts to create a vehicle that you would need to overcome these obstacles. Most video games have you trying to complete an objective while punishing mistakes, with things such as lives and timers, while on Bad Piggies, failing is half the fun. While Bad Piggies doesn't feature a typical game over screen or level failed screen, if you crash your vehicle or accidentally self-destruct, Ross will let out a comedic squeal as your vehicle shatters into pieces, flying all over the screen, with almost comic-like boom and power effects. And while you have technically failed to beat the level, the set in front of you is still pretty entertaining to watch, as all the pieces fly across the screen you get to see the mess your vehicles become. Aside from the game's main 4 episodes, Groundhog Day, When Pigs Fly, Rise and Swine, and Flight in the Night, there would also be some side story episodes such as The Road to El Porcador, Dusk Till Dawn, and Roadhogs. The game would also feature these sandbox levels, with each main episode having 2 sandbox levels each. These levels, instead of having a goal you'd come to expect, would have star boxes, which you could find around the map, either out in the open, in tight spaces, or in hard to reach areas. These levels would give you much bigger grids to work with compared to the regular levels, and give you way more parts. You could also get more parts by collecting stars in the main campaign by completing tasks, such as reaching the goal within a specific amount of time, or reaching the goal with your vehicle intact, or even by things such as reaching the goal without using a specific part given to you in the vehicle creator screen. The stars would also unlock bonus levels where the new character introduced in this game, Mechanic Pig, would lose his hat down a cave entrance and Ross would have to go down to collect it for him. There were also skulls which could be found around the main campaign levels, which would unlock a big underground sandbox, and statues in the final act of Road to El Porcador, which would, in a similar manner, unlock a big underground sandbox map. Safe to say, the game had hours and hours of content and replayability with millions of possible vehicle combinations, and once you got through all that and you thought you were done with everything, Bad Piggies would get another update introducing cosmetics for all the game's parts. These would be obtained through a machine that you would feed nuts and bolts, which would result in you getting a new part, with the quality of said part being based on how much you fed the machine. Once all the parts were collected, the machine would get upgraded, now having the ability to give you new alien parts with unique abilities compared to their regular counterparts. There are also a few hidden parts that you could find around the game, such as the blobfish on the title screen, the pineapple in the Roadwell Porkador, and this rich pig found in the statue sandbox. And even after all of this, after every level, every star, every cosmetic, Rovio would add a new game mode called the Cake Race mode, along with adding one of the game's best music pieces. The Cake Race update would add a new way to play, with you racing against a fake player, so you can collect the most cakes before the timer runs out and explodes. Whoever wins would be rewarded with a loot box which would contain cakes, nuts and bolts and cosmetic parts. You could also buy these loot boxes with coins obtained just by playing the game. The game also had arguably the best soundtrack of any game in the Angry Birds franchise, with the main theme alone being better than anything Mozart could ever wish to make. Take a listen. It was clear Rovio put a lot of love and effort into this game, and it paid off as well. Within just days, the game would reach the top spot in many stores, and hitting the 100 million downloads mark in only 3 years, and being almost as iconic as the original Angry Birds game itself. There would also be a sequel, but it didn't really last or leave soft launch properly, and there isn't a lot to talk about. But if you would like me to talk about it, tell me in the comments if you'd like me to make a video on it. In 2019, with all the classic Angry Birds games being removed, which I talk about in a more detailed video, Bad Piggies was the only game to actually be re-added in 2020, as there wasn't really any valid reason for it to be removed. Rovio claimed all the original games used outdated engines and took away focus from their newer titles, while Bad Piggies didn't actually do either of these. Bad Piggies was made in a game engine called Unity, which is kept up to date to this day. Because of this, Bad Piggies is very easy to continue supporting. Now, while Bad Piggies is officially confirmed to be cancelled and not receive any major gameplay updates, it does still get bug fixes and trademark updates, and is still available to play on the Play Store without any illegal methods, such as piracy, unlike the rest of the Angry Birds games. But what does this mean for the future of this amazing game? Will we get any new Bad Piggies content in the future? Well, Rovio hasn't denied the possibility of Bad Piggies 2 coming back in some shape or form, but until we get more information on that, we'll just have to wait and see. But if you're really desperate for more Bad Piggies, there is a mod called Leaning Edge. Leaning Edge removes all the limitations of the original game. For example, if you've ever wanted to use an unlimited amount of any part, now you can. This includes Ross himself, so you can finally recreate those multiple Ross vehicles from the title screen. It also removes the border limit and expands the building grid to a seemingly infinite length, and lets you shrink the size of Ross, making the map around you seem huge. So if there's something you've always wanted to make but the original game wouldn't let you, then this is the mod for you. But that's really about it. If you want new, fresh content with new levels, or expanding on the concept of Bad Piggies in general, there really isn't anything for you until Rovio decides to do something with the franchise. So until then, we really just have to wait and see what happens. Hi, thank you for watching the video. If you've gone this far, you either know me or you enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy it, maybe consider liking and subscribing, or, you know, the usual ways to support a YouTuber. But with all that said, bye.